They're not open until 6 p.m. We go thrifting. It's free. Who's gonna argue? Guess what's coming up in this particular little thingy? We are attempting to get to eBay auction drop off to the Tractor Supply over yonder. Can't get there from there, so we kind of have to do something that makes no sense. I don't know. New York is very confusing once you find civilization. We also found this sitting in a thing. Needless to say, we're not fans, except I like peanut M&Ms. We have entered the museum. I hear a voice. Did I hear hello? I thought I heard a voice.
I'll have a train running around the way out here. Okay.
A couple people from Tennessee were here.
We're deep in the heart of Pennsylvania's Allegheny Mountains, less than 10 miles west of the city of Altoona. Millions of years ago, nature waged war here by compressing prehistoric muck.
Wow, ancient cards.
Rock, then lifted and folded the rocks into mountains more than 2,000 feet tall. But today, the war is between one of the mountains and an army of humans and machines.
And yes, I used to watch Thomas the Tank Engine and I enjoyed it.
Otherwise known as Conrad.
And I thought my luggage was heavy. First aid package for the railroad. Dining car in opposite direction. This must have been the route it took. Erie Lackawanna Railway. Well, it's Erie, Pennsylvania. That's what I'm thinking of.
Chicago.
Oh. I'm dressed quite snazzy, I think.
No problem.
I love. Yeah, I was just gonna say the conductor didn't do too well there.
I think he stepped out. There's a picture, actually,
I think Grandma still has that flashlight.
That's the painting of it. That's a picture of it.
Oh, that actually happened? Oh my God. How in the hell do you get a train to do that? Let's see, was it? It broke away and rammed into and became suspended on the levee in the Canada, some sort of river that I can't pronounce. Getting ready, the number 5 pen, 2 o'clock in the morning. Started the hill in the slight incline. That was in the summer, so it wasn't the snow. Wow. Explosives. Don't smoke. They even have some of the explosives. Oh no, that's the extinguisher I was going to say.
Almost like, from Back in the Future, remember? You kept on the phone.
I don't remember which one. Oh, these are cool. The lanterns.
The railroad crests the mountains at Hudson. Then the line heads downgrade through towns such as Crescent, Cassandra, Portage, Somerville, South Fork, and Conemaugh before reaching Johnstown, 39 miles west of Altoona.
Wow, that's some big ass ranches. He was in Pennsylvania.
Thompson was chief engineer of the Pennsylvania Railroad, Continental's illustrious predecessor.
And the train tracks is oh, huge signal there. First I couldn't figure out what that was, and then I saw the everywhere S-type and blade.
If you have any questions, I will try to answer them. You guys from the Hornell area?
Not even close. We're in the middle of Massachusetts, 9 hours away. Near Springfield?
Pardon?
Near Springfield?
Okay. I used to live up north of Greenfield.
That's not too far away from
A
us.
place called Bernardston.
Yep.
Yep.
Right on the border.
Yep.
So, mind my asking, what brings you this way?
The race in Watkins Glen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First time I've been to that one.
Good, good.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a trip.
This used to be a big railroad town. Right out here, there were
You can feel the train going by at the store.
Wow.
Look at this diagram here, where it says station, that's the depot, and there were 20 tracks out there, and then there was a bypass going all the way around it. This picture over here kind of hints at that a little bit. This is the depot back in the 30s when they were burning coal, and there were the tracks went on out that way. Big classification yard. And they had one that was even bigger, the other side of the road that goes by the Sunset Restaurant. It's the next main road down crosses the track. So this is a big railroading town for the area. Plus the shops are over in here that Alston now has. They were Erie locomotive shops. They repair steam locomotives. It's now a mere shadow of itself.
Yeah, only one line too, if that.
And then they got taken over by, they went bankrupt and got taken over by Conrail, or Conrail didn't have any use for Cornell. It was Consolidated Rail Corporation, and then Consolidated because of one of the places that it
Yep. Earl Kimball. Why does that name sound familiar? I was going to say Earl Kimball.
This gentleman was born in 1874, and he made this in 1896. It was one of the older locomotives, an adaptation of, you know the golden spike from the railroad, the locomotives.
Yep.
Those are called 4 rows. They had 4 pilot wheels and 4 driver wheels and no trailing wheels. And this was an outgrowth of that design. They lasted up into the early 1900s.
That's just a model, not a function.
That's a model, right?
Yeah.
Now there are people that will make it. That'll take this and make it, and they'll burn coal or they'll burn propane, but they will generate steam and drive the drive wheels, all live steamers. And there's 2 or 3 gauges that are 6, 8, some 14 inches. We have over here, it's almost the same scale. Gentleman that's on Thursday night is retired dispatcher who made the caboose. The water tower
This one
over
here?
there. And he mounted this. This is an actual semaphore blade off the signal. They don't use semaphores very rarely. There's anybody using semaphores anymore. But they have lights behind there, and the position also showed. So if it was straight up, you could go through. If it was halfway, it was a caution, and the yellow light would light. And if it was like this, the red light would light and better stop.
Probably better than the modern versions.
Well, people seem to pay more attention to them. Nowadays, people are talking or texting on their cell phone.
Yeah.
Paying attention to the signals. So
Yep.
it causes accidents. So now they're going to institute all across the United States a positive train control. If you don't pay attention to the signal and go through it, boom, shut your train down.
Wow. But you still have the momentum of all that weight, though. I mean, just don't.
Well, but it's designed for that. For the operating speeds, there'll be a cautionary signal if you go through the cautionary signal. Now, that's okay if you're running an electric train that gets its power. But I think it's going to be actually tied into the controls of the train. So even a diesel locomotive, this will be a radio circuit, and if the train goes through the caution, the yellow light, then the system shuts the train down. It doesn't matter what the engineer says.
Doesn't a diesel provide the electricity?
Right, but
Electricity
but
for
there's
the whole car, yeah.
Yeah, there's controls there.
Yeah.
The guy runs, and if he doesn't pull it back and come down and stop, then the system will do it automatically for it.
It's way back when I was on the volunteer fire department in Munson. We had one of locomotive caught on fire inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's,
anyway, but be careful in there. A lot of electronics. A lot of
They're just the
not pretty when it does.
no.
The local model railroad in town has a full-size layout over on the other side. In the basement of the courthouse. They're open on Wednesday nights. But we're also building a little bit more modern one here. Modern in that it's going to be digitally command and controlled. But it's going to exemplify Cornell about the time of that picture out there, in the late 40s, early 50s. And we're only going to have 3 or 4 tracks back here instead of 20.
Yeah.
We've only got so much room. We have to selectively compress everything down.
Yep.
But a 3/4 scale model of the depot will be in here. If we built it full scale, it would take up almost this whole front platform.
Wow.
That's not the whistle blowing, it's the brakes. The voltage backs off and it squeaks the brakes.
I like the carts, the planters and the old Dutch cleaner carts. Cars.
Those are examples of real railroad cars.
Now they're just faceless boxes on wheels, basically. There's no,
Well,
at least the ones in our area anyway, there's no personality anymore.
But every once in a while, you'll see somebody who put something cosmic in. I'm waiting for it all crazy.
He's passed out.
25, 30 minutes ago, just as I was getting my supper.
Yeah, you could feel it just a little ways over.
Yeah, they go right by out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice that the track is still used, so
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Yeah.
there's still function
Palmer
here.
has
8 to 10
2 or
trees.
3 tracks come through Palmer. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
got the old depot there. That's converting to a
Restaurant, a very nice restaurant. I
Yeah,
haven't been to that
yeah,
restaurant.
sometimes.
It's very nice.
Yes, it is. They've done a great
You have to time it right to see a train, though. It's like if you're waiting for it, it doesn't go by.
And they've got a couple of old trains outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
I think in the summer they sometimes use it as like you can, you know,
Yeah,
eat
they
there and
sit
have
out.
occasions.
Yeah.
And,
Patio.
yeah.
And the car you actually eat in. Yep.
This is a model of the shops after Conrail said we don't want it anymore. General Electric had it for a year. They didn't need it, and they settled over in Sayre, Pennsylvania, which is over more towards Binghamton. And this lay idle for a while, and then a company called Morrison Knudsen got it, and they repair rail cars for New York City, Chicago, Washington, D.C. They also did some refurbishment of locomotives, and whatever. But this is as the Morrison Knudsen people had it. And then they got into some financial trouble, and a European company called Alstom bought into it. And they were going really, really well until they pulled some financial shenanigans and got caught at it. And so after that, I think what happened was people, the other companies knew that Alstom had to really mind its P's and Q's and really be accurate and couldn't do anymore, and everybody else could, and so they know what it costs to make them remanufacture a car, and they underbid them. And Alstom hadn't gotten too many big contracts, and so they've got 2 or 3 small ones, and they're muddling along, but it's not quite much. They used to put locomotives together from kits. The locomotive manufacturers, especially Electromotive Division, would send them a locomotive kit, and it's stuff, much more complicated than a model railroader, but along the same lines. They would take the frame of the locomotive, a big rectangular shell, turn it up. They have this huge wheel, and they mount the frame in the wheel, turn it upside down, put all the stuff that's underneath. They can assemble it from up top, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, and then once they get all the underneath stuff done, then they rotate the wheel over, drop it down onto the tracks, and then start building the rest of the locomotive from the frame up.
That'd be cool to see.
Pretty neat. You get to see a couple open houses of it. So I wish they would get some of those again.
Yeah.
Or at least like film them doing
They
that.
still got big cranes in here, and they move stuff. Yeah. Actually, there's a slight error in here, and this thing is so heavy that it's just a real pain to take the top off. And if they would, I would fix it. That little crane is supposed to go up on the top set of rails. And if you notice, the bottom rails are a little bit heavier beams and girders and stuff. So the bottom one is much heavier rated, and the top one is slightly rated.
And the hook's almost touching the little gray things.
Yeah.
They'd have to duck a lot. Yeah.
But it's amazing when Alstom took this over, and I saw it before. We've been in there a couple times, and Morrison Knudsen had it. And Morrison Knudsen's accent on overall cleanliness and whatever was sort of mediocre. Alstom came in, and everything was spick and spot clean. I mean, it was amazing how clean it was in there. And I think it made for a safer working environment. And probably better.
More pleasant one, yeah.
More pleasant, better running equipment. Our same model
Oh,
that built this about 25 years ago, in 2007. 87, I'm sorry. Yeah, 26 years ago.
Make me feel old. Yeah, used to be used kind train.
A couple examples of stoves that used to be in cabooses. In the old days, before a lot of modern technology, now there is a locomotive engineer and a conductor. And a lot of times the conductor isn't trained to be an engineer. And that's all there is on a train crew. And so the conductor gets the job of hiking back to the back of this mile-long train and setting a switch or a turnout, and then coming back to the...
Oh my gosh.
But in the old days, the conductor was in the caboose, along with a couple of brakemen, a couple of signalmen, and, just there's a whole crew back there, and so they would have their lunches.
Kind of sounds like
The
laughter.
train doesn't like leather.
I think I can.
Those are neat. I like those. Is he coming? I think he's coming. Here's a little train. A lot less noisy than the ones that go by our place, doesn't it?